Good morning and welcome to NewsWare's Trade Talk for Monday, May 18th. Okay, let's get into the action. The S&Ps are actually lower. We're lower by 0.15, which is really, kind of like the session highs for the day, being only down 0.15%. They were down about 0.4% on the rising geopolitical tensions in the Middle East, which, negatively affects the market sentiment. And, over the weekend, President Trump escalated his rhetoric towards Iran, issuing another warning that Tehran has to reconsider its current negotiating price. But just a little bit ago, it was announced that the U.S. has accepted the lifting of Iran oil sanctions in a text-based source. So we're not sure if that's true yet, but that is having, a positive effect on the markets. And the markets are starting to turn from being down 0.4% to being down 0.13%. That's positive. The energy markets are, they're still trading slightly higher. Crude oil was up 1%. It's up a lot less than that now. In Washington, the senators are out there. They're looking at proposing gambling restriction advertisements on these companies that are advertising towards minors. On the economic front today, the key report coming out is the housing market index. In corporate news, Berkshire Hathaway, they disclosed a big position, new large stake in Delta Airlines, and they tripled their position in New York Times, NYT. Elliott Management, on the other hand, they revealed big positions in Norwegian Cruise Lines and ticker RIG, RIG, Transocean. Shares of LiveRamp, RAMP, they're moving higher as a French firm makes a 38.50%, $38.50 share per offer for the company. Con Ed, Motorola Solutions, they're both having shareholders meetings today. On the earnings front, Baidu is trading higher following their latest quarterly earnings update. And looking ahead, the market's closely watching because it is a busy week for retailers coming out with major, reports coming out from Walmart, Target, Ross Stores, Home Depots, and Lowe's. And let's not forget, we also got NVIDIA's earnings coming out on Wednesday. So we got a lot of earnings action happening in a short period of time. Okay, and we're going to move over and take a look at the European markets. Early this morning, the DAX was up less than 0.1%. Now it's up 0.76%. I mean, that's actually kind of positive for the fact that we were, seeing such a muted opening. But now, with that news about lifting the sanctions on Iran, that's really, looking that we could be ending that war escalation issues that we're seeing. The FTSE, I mean, again, they were up minor, up about 0.8%. They're now up 0.5%. The CAC in Paris was down about over 0.8%. Now it's down only 0.41%. That's kind of positive. Then you look over last night and you're looking at Asia, and the Nikkei fell. The Nikkei lost 0.98%. Third day of losses for the Nikkei with tech shares still remaining under pressure. In Hong Kong, the Hang Seng finished lower by 1.11%. Weakness was seen in financial stocks and tech stocks. China was only lower by 0.09%, less than 0.1%. They had some weak economic data. Retail sales came in weak as well, so that's causing some negative effects around the globe this morning. Now we're turning our attention over to oil, and oil is it just did turn lower. I mean, we're up. I mean, last night it was up like 2%. This morning it was up 1%. Now we're trading a little lower. I mean, you get WTI at 105.18. That's down 0.23%. You get Brent at 109.21. That's down 0.05%. So, flat to lower for oil, which is better than being higher by 1%, which is what we were seeing all morning long. So yeah, keep an eye on oil. I mean, it's really that new comments about the possibility of lifting the oil sanctions on Iran that's causing the oil to turn. Okay, moving over to earnings news. Let's take a look at Baidu, BIDU. Stocks trading up by 4.78% this morning. They delivered a positive earnings report. Revenue rose by $18 billion over the quarter. Wow, nice report. Upcoming tomorrow morning is a big day. Home Depot, HD, they're releasing earnings. EPS is $3.42. Expected move is 5.09%. In terms of economic reports today, we get the housing market index coming out at 10 a.m. And Atlanta's interim Fed Bank president, Cheryl Venable, she'll be speaking this morning at 8:30 a.m. But listen, it's a big week for economic reports that are coming out. So we got to keep that in mind. you get the Fed meetings minutes coming out. That's going to be a big one. That's coming out Wednesday. And also you get the PMIs, the flash PMIs coming out, as well as Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index. These are some key reports, and University of Michigan consumer sentiment. That's also coming out this week. Okay, now we're moving into what stocks are moving. We're looking at the FANG stocks this morning. Apple's trading a little lower this morning, but there is a report out there that Apple's revamping Siri, and they may be launching their beta version, which has an option to auto delete chats, which could be interesting. Amazon got sued by consumers over the Trump tariffs. What do we got? Meta, Third Point, is taking a stake in Meta Platforms, META. Tesla increased the price of its Model Y cars in the U.S. for the first time in 2 years. In terms of Dow Jones 30 stocks, Johnson & Johnson. Health officials declared Ebola outbreak a public health emergency. This is a World Health Organization. We're looking at NVIDIA this morning because NVIDIA is showing gains this morning. The fact of the matter is their earnings are coming out later this week, so it's kind of like a little bit of a run-up starting. United Healthcare weakening this morning. Berkshire sells its position. UNH is down low. It's down hard, actually. It's down like $14 this morning. In mergers, Ramp, RAMP, Publix, a French company, announced an agreement to acquire LiveRamp for $2.2 billion. Shareholders meeting, Con Ed, ticker ED, Motorola Solutions, MSI, they're both holding shareholders meetings today. In terms of buyback news, BSX, Boston Scientific, sets a $2 billion accelerated stock buyback. MNSD, Monster Beverage, announced a new $500 million share repurchasing program. Constellation Brands, Citibank opens up an upside 90-day catalyst watch on the stock. STZ. Okay, let's move on in today's pick of the day. I'm going to go with ticker BILI, Boy India, Larry India, Billy. Earnings are out tomorrow morning. EPS is 17 cents. Expected move is 10.87%. Friday's call volume was 10,000 on the call side, 3,000 on the put side. Open interest is 176 on the call side, 101 on the put side. And the major brokers, they are raising price targets. So, it's mostly positive on there. But for me, I want to kind of, I want to kind of see if I can get into a discount. I'm watching the stock closely this morning. I'm hoping to get in under 109, under $19. I mean, the bid offer is $19.10 to $19.29, so I'm going to say $18.90, somewhere between $18.90 and $19 as an entry price. Hopefully it gets there. A little weakness this morning could cause the stock to show a little weakness. It's not hitting all my data points, but enough of them it makes it best to breed. So I got to go with BILI today. And I'm going to say, $18.95 is an entry point. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about the stocks that are seeing some news over the last 15 minutes or so. AMC Theaters, AMC, they are expanding feature fare menu nationwide. FDP, Frank David Paul, Fresh Del Monte partners with Toy Story 4 for Toy Story 5 in a global campaign. Lululemon LULU urges shareholders to vote its 3 recommended director nominees. Booz Allen, BAH, they're going to be deploying CT Cyber Zero Trust capabilities. Ford announces product and services rollout in Europe, 7 new models. BIO, Bio-Rad Laboratories, Elliott Management built a sizable stake in the company according to an SEC filing. All right, that's all I'm really seeing. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about Friday's pick of the day, which was Baidu, ticker BIDU, Boy, India, David, Uncle. Listen, the stock opened up at 137.80, traded up above 138, but then fell down to 135.05 and closed at 135.33. But then the earnings hit. I mean, you look at the stock this morning, and it's trading 141.89, so that's like a 4.8% move higher. So yeah, BIDU was a winner. That was a good pick on Friday. So yeah, got to be happy about that. All right, traders, that concludes today's podcast. You guys know what to do. Let's go out there and let's make some green.